Thanks for watching this installment in our video series on credit scoring and credit. My name is Kurt Jackson. I'm a certified mortgage planner in Liberty, Missouri with more than 17 years experience in the mortgage industry. This segment's going to outline some of what you could encounter if you decide to go about the cleaning up of your credit on your own, and if you got to deal with the credit reporting agencies, the Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. This is a little longer segment. I apologize for that, but I think you'll find the information that we share in it is being really very valuable. Now, before we continue, I got to give you our disclaimer. We're not attorneys, and this is not to be construed as legal advice. So the information given in this video series is designed to alert you to aspects of your credit bureau that you could consult with an attorney on. In fact, the examples contained in this segment are not ours. They come from the research that we've done in putting this together. Now, that being said, our experiences with the credit reporting agencies lead us to believe that these stories are probably pretty accurate. So when I say CRA, it's the credit reporting agencies. That's Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. And we want to address first why the CRAs are not doing their job. And each credit reporting agency has a different process for handling credit report disputes, but all three use a similar system. The three bureaus collaborated through their trade organization to automate the entire reinvestigation process using an online computer called eOscar. Now, all disputes received by the credit bureaus are done via written letter, the telephone, or the credit bureau's online dispute service. Now, even if the credit bureau receives a written dispute highly detailed with documentation, each dispute is reduced to a 2-digit code, the best guess of a minimum wage employee at the credit reporting agency. Now, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the credit bureaus are required to send the information onto the furniture of the consumer's account, in other words, the original creditor, but all they receive is a 2-digit code. It's believed that the employees of all three credit report agencies operate under a quota system whereby each employee is expected to process all of the disputes of an individual consumer in less than 4 minutes. Worse still, the codes used by both the CRAs and their subscribers, the furnishers of credit, are limited in number and rarely describe the actual basis for the consumer's dispute. For example, in 2 cases, both identical, consumers wrote dispute letters to all 3 bureaus. The disputes were conveyed in great detail and explained that the consumers were not responsible for the disputed accounts and that any signatures claimed to be theirs were forgeries. Each consumer dispute letter also included copies of handwriting exemplars such as signatures on driver's license, military IDs, and other credit cards. They had also obtained a copy of the forged note included in his dispute letter. When Equifax and TransUnion received the letters, their employees simplified the disputes to code the description, not his, hers. The 2-digit code indicating not mine was all the furnishers received. In a deposition taken in the Pennsylvania case, TransUnion responsible employees have explained the credit reporting agency's investigation procedure. The dispute investigator looks at the consumer's written dispute and then reduces that to a code that gets transmitted to the furnisher. Is that correct? Yes. Does the furnisher ever see the consumer's written dispute? No. Are there any instances in which the dispute investigator would call the consumer to find out more about the dispute? No. Now, this is consistent with the credit reporting agency's testimony in every other case of which we're aware. The bureaus do not convey the full dispute or forward any of the documents to the furnishers. As an expected result, nearly all consumer disputes are verified against the consumers. So how do you go about requesting method of verification? I'll tell you about an experience with a bogus lien that appeared on a credit report. This person was refinancing his house, and his loan officer called to tell him that he was approved, but he would have to pay off his $5,000 Missouri state tax lien. Now, he had never lived in Missouri, so he wouldn't have needed to pay state taxes because you've got to be employed in Missouri for this to happen. Therefore, it was impossible for the lien to be his. The conversation with Equifax went like this. He called Equifax, the credit reporting agency who had this listed, and disputed the tax lien. To his surprise, it came back verified. He called the toll-free number listed at the top of the report sent to him by Equifax and asked for a method of verification. The response, "We have documentation." "What kind of documentation do you have?" he asked. "Documentation?" Silence followed. "Who did you call? Did you call the county clerk?" "We never called the original creditor," the Equifax employee responded. "Never?" "No." He asked for the number and the name of the courthouse, and after some hesitation, he was given the name and number of the Missouri courthouse. He immediately called the Missouri courthouse, asked for the records clerk, and explained the situation. The very nice woman on the other end of the phone said, "Well, I can tell you that no credit bureau has ever called here." She then asked for my social security number and name after comparing them. She said, "Honey, the social security numbers aren't even close. This definitely isn't yours." He asked if he could get a letter from you stating, from them stating that the tax lien isn't mine. "I'm afraid we can't do this as this information is private, but the tax lien isn't yours," is what the lady from the courthouse in Missouri said. He asked if he could give Equifax her name and number and have them call so that she could tell them what she told him. The clerk assured him that that would be fine, and he wrote down the information. So he called Equifax back and recounted what the clerk had just told him. He then insisted that Equifax call the clerk to verify what he said, and Equifax said, "Oh, we can't do that." He said, "You better do that, or I will sue you for willful noncompliance with the Federal Credit Reporting Act. You are required to investigate my dispute and consider all information." "Does this mean you want to open up a new investigation?" Well, he said yes. He did want to open a new investigation. He gave her the clerk's name and direct line and was given a new confirmation number for his dispute. The results? 10 days later, he received a letter from Equifax that the account was removed from his credit report and his loan went through. So after a little more investigation on the credit bureau's methods of investigation, he came up with the following procedure, which seems to be working for people. And this is important, folks. You might want to write this down or email us and we'll send it to you. Challenge the listing in the normal way. If it's verified, with a copy of the investigation result in hand, call the credit reporting agency at the toll-free number listed at the top of the report. If not, you're done, you lucky dog. Give the report reference number and ask for a method of verification per Federal Credit Reporting Act, Section 611-A-7. They will have never called the original creditor, but will have relied on the third-party database to verify, which they may or may not admit to you. If they can't cite solid evidence, like we called the original creditor and they verified, we'll ask for the original creditor's phone number. Call the original creditor and ask for the records. If the original creditor doesn't have them, they will typically tell you that the collection agency has them or that they don't keep them. Get the person's name and direct line. If they do have them, demand a copy under the new FACTA Act. If you're sent records, review them and see how good they are. If they are not conclusive, take the next step. If the original creditor has no records, call the credit reporting agency back and tell them the original creditor has no records. Inform the credit reporting agency that they need to open another dispute. The new information for the dispute is the name and number of the person to whom you've just called at the original creditor. If they refuse, inform them you will sue them for willful noncompliance under Federal Credit Report Section 616. If they still refuse, send the information via a certified letter along with an intent to sue letter. If not, they will give you a new confirmation number. Write it down and the date. This acts as a new investigation, and the CRA, the credit reporting agency, has 30 days to get it back to you. If you've got written records proving the original creditor can't back up the negative listings that are reporting on your credit report, then send them registered mail to the credit reporting agency along with an intent to sue letter if the account is not removed. Now, this process can be done by you, but it's not easy. Now, folks, that's why we've aligned ourselves with a law firm that can help you through this whole process. They understand the laws surrounding credit and are able to identify any areas for you to be able to help get your credit corrected. Now, after years of searching for a legitimate credit repair agency that is affordable and actually delivers on their promises, as long as you hold up your end of the bargain, we finally found one. Okay. Now, what we also found is that when the consumer complains that the law firm didn't do what they promised, it is almost always because the consumer didn't forward all the documentation that they get back from the credit reporting agencies back to the law firm. Right. We have a very good reputation with our clients and the people that we deal with, and we want to make sure we maintain that. That's why we've gone through a lot of different potential options on people that we would recommend to help with cleaning this up. Some of the others that we found that were legitimate and would help you were very, very, very expensive. So we kept looking for a more affordable one, and we have finally found one that is very affordable. So as you listen to this, folks, believe me, it's something you should do and you need to do for your credit, and it doesn't cost that much money, so it may be worth it to spend a little money just to make sure that you got your credit report cleaned up and your credit scores are maximized. So if you're interested in finding out more about this process, if you either own a house now or ever want to buy one, you got to go through this process, folks. I understand. I can't recommend it more. If you're interested in that, call or email me at the number on the screen. Be happy to put you in contact with them. We'll talk to you. We can give you some more details about that. We can even share with you how you can get any money you spent with the law firm that we're dealing with. Any money you spent with them, we can share with you a way that you can get all that money refunded when you close on your new home or on your refinance. So keep that in mind. We can't stress any more strongly about how important it is to get these things cleaned up. So please give us a call or email us at the numbers that are listed on the screen right now, and we'll be happy to help you with that. We do have more segments in the video, so make sure that you do tune in and listen there. We're going to try to continue to give you the best information that we can about credit and credit scoring and what you can do to improve yours.